Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Welcome to it. It's another beautiful day in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. Sure. Can you say that? 888-900-3393 if you want to get in touch with us, or you could tweet us as well at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. The mind-boggling nature of this administration and their complete denial of reality continues. So you have to love that. That's a lot of fun. Of course, the mind-boggling ridiculousness of all people on the left is just staggering. What was the thing I was reading about Susan Sarandon yesterday? They're all pissed off at her because she didn't want to hold her nose and vote for Hillary Clinton, which would have caused something else to happen and something else. And now they want to cancel Susan Sarandon, which I say good. Because as insane as all of this is, the only way it's going to stop is when they get a taste of their own medicine. When they start eating their own, or continue, I guess, eating their own, then maybe there's a chance for everybody else, because that's the only way this is ever going to end. Some on the left lashed out at her after the Supreme Court approved a pro-life law in Texas that places new restrictions on abortion. With everything going on in Texas and soon in other states, it's a friendly reminder that Susan Sarandon can F all the way off.
Wow. Not just partially.
That's according to Tony Poznansky. And I, tend to really pay attention to Tony Poznansky's stuff, don't you?
Who doesn't?
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody who doesn't.
A guy or a girl, Pat?
Tony Poznansky?
Yeah.
I don't think Tony wants to,
Point of personal privilege.
Right, go ahead. Answer that
question. Please do not use gendered language to address everyone.
Thank you.
I can't even spell Poznansky.
Centrist Democrat ire has been pointed at her and other far-left Democrats who refuse to hold their nose and vote for Hillary Clinton. What does that have to do with the Texas abortion law?
Yeah, I was just Googling when you said that. I was like, I don't know what he was talking about. I found an article from 2017 that says that Hillary Clinton would have been a very dangerous president. That's what Susan Sarandon said at the time, and she does not regret voting for Jill Stein. This is a 2017 article I have here.
Jill Jeez. Yeah, just when you think, oh my gosh, we've had that thought before. Wait, what? She didn't want to vote for Hillary, so she must have found a more conservative
I didn't
option?
have that thought about her.
Nope, Jill Stein. Yeah. Oh, okay, the actual socialist. I see, okay. Jeez. Now, rich women like Susan Sarandon will be just fine, according to a liberal Stephanie. The harsh edicts of the American Taliban will not touch her privileged life.
This is becoming a thing with the left.
Yes, yeah, it is. The American Taliban is anybody who doesn't want to murder babies.
Right. Or they're calling it the Texas Taliban now, too. Yeah.
That's cute, because then you've got the alliteration.
Yep.
Yeah, the two T's at the start of both words.
Can we, do you have the cartoon available, Rob? I don't want to throw you off here. Oh, everything's frozen. Oh, cool. Okay. So our computer system, Nate broke it.
We did?
So, yeah. No, Nate. Don't say we.
Oh,
Nate. It's Nate's fault.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something happened there.
Sticking Nate.
But I got to show you this cartoon later that's just mind-numbing.
I know the one of which you speak. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because killing babies is so important to the left. Man, it is like their life goal to make sure as many babies as possible are slaughtered in their lifetime. You think about that. 63 million and counting. 63 million since 1973 in Roe v. Wade. Oh, wow. It's over 1 billion. It's way over 1 billion worldwide. Think about the people who could have, I don't know, maybe there might have been somebody in there who cured cancer or found a cure for this stupid COVID situation.
And we'll never know.
Yeah,
here's that cartoon in question.
Oh, there we go.
Get the two Afghani women in full burqas now.
Right.
And they're saying, pray for Texas women.
That's funny because Texas women can't slaughter babies. They'd have to go to another state to do it.
So you got
well, except up to 6 weeks. They certainly can. Up to 6 weeks.
Because life in Texas for women sucks compared to
Afghanistan.
Yeah. And by the way, I'd like to point out that cartoonist. I grew up looking at his drivel, Mike Lokovich of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. I think his cartoons, his far left-leaning cartoons, may have had as much to do with my political leanings and development growing up in Atlanta as anything. That man is sick. Anyway.
Well, yeah, that's outrageous. It's just outrageous. They are so upset over the fact that you can't kill a baby after 6 weeks that they're apoplectic over that.
Well, they're upset about a lot of stuff. They're also upset that you can have a constitutionally guaranteed right protected in this state by carrying a gun now.
Yeah.
And
which is actually in the Constitution.
Right. They're also upset about the voting restrictions now, making it, so that you can't steal an election in Texas.
Yeah, and we have to show you the Biden. Now, maybe that was just I don't know if we have video.
So don't move to Texas if you're far, because you'll hate it here. I mean, we just passed all this stuff that you're gonna hate. So
now, Mr. Brain Dead, incoherent, mindless buffoon, Joe Biden, tried to put Roe v. Wade into the Constitution. Or something. Here, Biden said yesterday as he denounced the Texas law that effectively bans abortions after 6 weeks. He said the law, quote, blatantly violates the constitutional right established under Roe v. Wade and upheld as precedent for nearly a half century. Okay, unquote, by the way. There is no Roe v. Wade in the Constitution. The Roe v. Wade is not a constitutional law. Okay? I mean, the Supreme Court said it is constitutional, but it's not in the Constitution. So it's not a constitutional right. Get out of here. You know what the constitutional right is as far as abortion is concerned? It's for the right of the unborn. That's who's granted a right from the Constitution, because this is in the Constitution. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. Okay. So we have guaranteed the blessings of liberty to not just ourselves, but our posterity. And who are our posterity? Seems like the people being born. Seems like this would protect them and grant them the blessings of liberty. So one of those blessings is to be born.
Okay, but is the word freedom
in the Constitution?
In the Constitution.
Yes.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
That's not what I heard. I go to the movies. I learned otherwise.
Oh, you go to the movies?
Yeah.
Oh, I must be mistaken then. Did they say in a movie?
Well, that's where I get my history. Yes, they did.
The word woman does not appear even once in the U.S. Constitution.
Nor does the word freedom.
Your Honor. Nor does the word freedom.
Did we just spoil a movie?
Your Honor.
That's a spoiler right there.
Yeah, spoiler.
Sorry,
alert.
y'all.
By the way, a little late.
Another spoiler is that it
does include the word freedom.
Yeah, it's right there in the...
Yeah.
You might miss it since it's right there at the beginning in the First Amendment.
The First Amendment. So we really buried it because we didn't want anybody to know.
Well, we didn't want the women to find it. And that's why you don't teach women to read. Because next thing you know, they're going to look in the Constitution and go, oh my gosh, look at all these freedoms.
Not only is that an inaccurate statement about the Constitution, but it also didn't happen in real life, by the way. Ruth Bader Ginsburg never had that situation come up in court with a judge. So the whole thing was just garbage. But everybody raved about it. Everybody, because RBG was the greatest. Wasn't she? Was really, really awesome. All right, since we had the cartoon, does that mean that we're unfrozen now and that videos are ready as well?
He says no.
No, he says no.
Oh, boo.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's not good.
What
if you really unplug it and just plug it back in? That fix it? Because we got some good videos to show the audience.
Rebooting fixes everything, doesn't it? I think when you reboot, you fixed everything.
Yeah.
Or just give it a good swift kick. One of the two.
I'll come in during the break.
Yeah.
I'll come in and give it a good swift
kick. Might be in the mood for that as well.
Yeah.
Rasmussen poll out now showing a little bit of trouble for Joe Biden. Found that 52% of American voters believe Biden should resign. And 60% say he should be impeached. According to the poll, 75% of Republicans, 48% of independents, even 32% of Democrats think Biden should resign.
Okay, but I got news for you. Mitch McConnell says it's not going to happen. He's not even going to... Bro, does that ever stop? Did it stop Democrats when they didn't have... Because his justification for saying that is that, look, Democrats have control. They have blah, blah, blah. Doesn't stop Democrats from going after Republican presidents, bro.
That's right. And with Republicans like Mitch McConnell, who needs Democrats? We don't really need them.
Yeah, and we realize that Democrats probably aren't going to vote to impeach Joe Biden. Okay?
Yeah, probably not.
We got that. But play their game. Paralyze this Marxist administration. Slow them down. Can we stop the train to Insanityville? No. Well, we can't do that. Okay, go dig a hole in a beach, turtle.
And the American people agree with that. As far as impeachment, 83% of Republicans want him impeached, 58% of independents, and 40% of Democrats.
So how is this a foregone conclusion he wouldn't be? Because we've got once they replug in the computer in there and it boots back up, boy, we got video today that I think is, depending on, it might be impeachable. Let's just put it that way.
I think so.
I think, I don't know if this decision made it to the top, but I'm sure it did. We'll get there later, I'm sure. But you know Kanye West would have been a better president than Joe Biden. Yes?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. 100%. In every dimension, that man would have been a better president than Joe Biden.
There's no question in my mind. There's rumors now that he and Kim are getting back together, by the way. So,
good.
Yeah.
Aw.
I couldn't be happier.
Right.
Wacky, nutty couple.
Yeah, she's going to make a good first lady.
Oh, man. Yeah, well, yes.
Seriously.
Have to keep some thoughts to myself, but yes.
He would have been better.
Yes, I'm sure.
He would have been so much better.
In the meantime, too, since most of our videos are probably Biden and Afghanistan related, let me tell you about this civil asset forfeiture situation. It just keeps going. I'm stunned every time I see it, and I know I shouldn't be by now because we've been talking about this for years. But this is one of the most unbelievable situations I've ever seen. So Stephen Lara was driving on a freeway in Nevada, and a Nevada trooper pulled him over. And at first he said, yeah, you know what we're doing is we're educating drivers about violations they may not realize they're committing.
Oh, shut up.
So, sir, I pulled you over for following a tanker truck a little too closely.
Oh, God.
So then he said, well, I do admit I have an ulterior purpose as well. We're trying to stop the smuggling of illegal drugs, weapons, and currency as they cross the state. So Lara, a former Marine who says he was on his way to visit daughters in Northern California, insisted he was doing none of those things, though he readily admitted, although I do have a lot of cash in my car.
What the?
Oops.
Whoa.
Oopsie daisies.
Don't do this.
Big mistake.
Bro.
Big mistake. So as he stood on the side of the road, police searched the vehicle, brought one of their dog-sniffing dogs into it, and
dogs do sniff dogs.
Yes. Because dog-sniffing cats just don't work that well. Right. You know what I mean?
It's like they're shaking hands. No, it's not. It's gross. They need to get their nose out of there. Sorry, I digress. Continue.
So anyway, they insisted the dog-sniffing dog had detected something on the cash.
Oh, okay. It's been everywhere.
Yeah, it's a dead president. That's what's on the cash. Yes, that's what you detected.
Oh,
but again, as always, in these situations that we're talking about, police found no drugs, and he was charged with no crime, but the police did help themselves to $87,000 in cash. $87,000! So he got on the phone with the DEA right away, did the police officer, to coordinate the adoption.
Oh,
yeah.
That's the word they use?
Yes.
Oh, no.
That's the word they're using now is we're adopting your money. No. Oh, okay. Well, if this is an adoption, then by all means, take my $87,000.
I disagree with everything that you've described in this story, but the dude might need to be committed for just saying to the officer
I
he was
got a lot
carrying
of cash in here. What? I got a lot of cash. Probably looks suspicious.
Yeah.
But I promise I didn't do anything wrong. But I got tens of thousands of dollars in cash.
I mean, that's a weird brag to an
is.
officer. I mean, that doesn't end well. And by the way, this handy thing that we stumbled upon earlier, this Constitution thing, yeah, I'm looking at something in the Fourth Amendment. It seems like it's being violated with every detail you say.
What? Yeah, Lara said, I left there confused. I left there angry. Yeah, you think?
And lighter.
And I could not believe that I had just been literally robbed on the side of the road by people with badges and guns. Yes, that's exactly what it is. It's theft. They're stealing this money from the American people. They're highwaymen. They're just highwaymen. Legal highwaymen. Unbelievable. So Lara demanded his cash back. Didn't get it. And so he said, okay, I'm getting a lawyer and I'm going to the Washington Post. And once the light of day started shining down on this story, they finally agreed to return his money.
Oh, he got it back?
It doesn't say if he did get it back, but they agreed to give it back. So I don't know if that transfer has happened
And
yet.
how much of that $87,000 is now in the bank account of a lawyer?
I'd love to know because it's probably a lot. Probably a lot. It's just unbelievable
Madness.
how this can continue to happen in the United States of America. They even have video of the stop, which was recorded on multiple body cameras, showing the trooper and Lara having a genial conversation. The troopers pull the cash from his trunk and remark that the bills seem to be new. Huh, these seem like they're new.
Yeah, I just printed them. Sorry, am I supposed to say that?
Laura even points out the receipts he showed them for the money.
Yeah,
Which
keep your receipts.
He says proved the money was his.
Yeah, that's a safety tip. You always keep your receipts, and if the teller doesn't give it to you, you ask for it.
And I'm going to say it again. It's not illegal to carry cash with you in the United States of America. If you had $12 billion, that doesn't mean that the cops are entitled to it. I can't even. It's mind-numbing.
Yeah.
It's inconceivable.
You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
All right. Insane. So we'll keep an eye on that because they said they're going to give him his money, but they've said that before, and then they don't. Somehow it gets mixed up. We lost that $87,000. I was just had it here somewhere.
Right. And
where did I put that?
I don't know if maybe you skipped this detail in the story. Did he get a citation or a written warning for being too close to that tanker truck?
Nope. He got no ticket, and he was not charged with any crime. They just took his money.
You just drive safely. Drive
safely now.
Don't get so close to those tanker trucks going forward, and maybe we won't have this problem.
Might cost you $87,000. So, yeah, you probably don't want to do that. Let me tell you about Real Estate Agents I Trust. When you're trying to sell your home, it can really be a challenge, and there's so many things to consider. Like, should I just try to sell it as is and get as much as I can without going through all the expense and the hassle? Or should I really try to maximize what I'm going to get out of this thing and maybe repaint or redo the countertops or remodel even some of the rooms? These agents are the ones that can steer you in the right direction because they're with people all the time and they're successful at what they do, so they really know what buyers are looking for. Plus, on the other hand, when you're buying a home, they'll make sure you get the most home for your money. Real Estate Agents I Trust. This is Glenn's company, so his people have really carefully vetted all of these agents, and there's over 1,000 of them countrywide. Real Estate Agents I Trust. The name says it all. Go to realestateagentsitrust.com.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
So we talked yesterday about how Joe Biden told the Afghan president in July to make things sound like they're absolutely fine in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. And he praised the Afghan armed forces. He said, "You clearly have the best military," end quote.
Well, and he mentioned that to the American people, too. He said they're 300,000 strong.
Wait, he got it right on one?
Yeah, apparently.
He didn't say 300 billion trillion
No,
strong?
In that particular case, he did not.
Okay.
So, Jen Psaki was asked about that yesterday.
Donnie, I just want to put a pin in that report. Was the president in any way pushing a false narrative in that call with the Afghan president?
I think it's pretty clear. Again, I'm not going to go into details of a private conversation, but what we saw over the course of the last few months is a collapse in leadership. And that was happening even before Ghani left the country. What the president has conveyed repeatedly, privately, and publicly is you need to stand up and lead your country. Okay. And that's something he said at a press conference in July in public forum as well.
Hold on.
Far be it from them to go into a private conversation between a president and another world leader.
Yeah. It's private, man. What are you doing?
Ukraine.
Huh? What?
Donald Trump, Ukraine.
No. Private conversation.
Yeah, private conversation. We don't even want to talk about it. That is so bogus.
Do you mind? Can we please play that clip one more time? Because her answer, first of all, she says, I think it's pretty clear. So it almost sounds like she's saying, yes, he was pushing a false narrative. But aside from that, listen to this clip again, and don't think of the Afghan president. Think of the American president. Who exactly is she talking about in this clip? Listen to this.
Donnie, I just want to put a pin in that report. Was the president in any way pushing a false narrative in that call?
Pause it for a second. Also, if the answer is no, he was not pushing a false narrative, don't you just say that?
And then move on, yeah.
No, he wasn't. She can't even say that's a lie too big for even her.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, go ahead.
It's pretty clear. Again, I'm not going to go into details of a private conversation, but what we saw over the course of the last few months is a collapse in leadership. Ding. And that was happening even before Ghani left the country.
Yeah.
What the president has conveyed repeatedly, privately, and publicly is you need to stand up and lead your country. And that's something he said at a press conference in July in public forum as well.
So that's a point well taken, Keith. She's talking about Biden there.
Okay, yeah. All right, that makes sense now.
Talking about Biden.
What a bizarro world we live in. Kanye West, man. He would have done such a better job. Oh, by the way, congrats to Joe Biden. All that military gear that we left there. I heard yesterday on Glenn's show, Marsha Blackburn said that, China's going to come in and reverse engineer all of our stuff now. They're going to, because, they're all cozied up to him. Well, not only that, but yesterday, they were moving, the Taliban was apparently moving equipment to Iran.
Oh.
So Iran now going to get the military equipment that you worked hard for and paid federal income tax for. And I did the math yesterday. Look, it's like 5.5 million Americans worked for all of that military equipment in 1 year to fund the, I was going to say Taliban.
Billion?
Yeah, but it's really Iran now, I guess.
That's both.
I don't know.
They've got so much they can supply themselves and Iran with all the weaponry we left behind.
This does not end well for anybody.
U.S. Army General Mark Milley, chairman of the Joint Chiefs, has said it was possible the United States will seek to coordinate with the Taliban on counterterrorism strikes in Afghanistan against Islamic State militants or others. Isn't it bizarre how we trust these guys now? How we cozy up to them?
Madness, man.
How we follow their guidelines and deadlines and their red lines. The extent and nature of a U.S.-Taliban relationship, now that the war is over, is one of the key issues that is going to be worked out. He said of the recent cooperative arrangement with the Taliban at Kabul airport, which went so well, as we all remember. In war, you do what you must in order to reduce risk to mission and force, not what you necessarily want to do. Milley's comments were made at a Pentagon news conference with Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, who's also a genius, by the way. Milley called the Taliban ruthless, adding, whether or not they change remains to be seen.
Wait, are we? So we're that's part of our plan?
But still, we're going to coordinate things with them.
Part of the calculus is that we hope they change?
Yeah.
The Taliban. I tell you.
It's crazy.
But I read this frustrating article. I've mentioned it, that in November of 2001, the Taliban said, "Hey, we'll surrender. We just want amnesty, please." And Rumsfeld was like, "We're not going to be negotiating surrenders." Boy, hindsight, huh?
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah. Well, here's how much they've changed. Laura Logan tweeted out some audio that, I mean, we're making some assumptions here, and there are some claims, and we're not positive these are true, or this is what this is. But from a senior U.S. source, the house-to-house effort by the Taliban is turning into house-to-house executions. And
so Laura Logan posted this video footage.
This is supposedly gunfire from inside the homes of Afghans where they're going house to house. And apparently just shooting people inside the homes. And of course, according to Laura Logan,
oh gosh, listen to this.
It's pretty clearly gunfire. So who knows? Who knows? But my guess is the Taliban has not changed.
And remember, Joe Biden thought it prudent to get our military out before saving Americans, our allies, our friends there.
And it couldn't have gone any better. I mean, why not take the military out first?
And so many remain. There was a story yesterday of there's an American woman there trying to get out, and she's pregnant, and the Taliban kicked her in the stomach.
Yeah.
I mean, just
horrific.
And yet they apparently made up these blank visas that who knows who has gotten out of that country by using those, but we can't get these Americans and our allies out. You cannot dream up a worse scenario than what Joe Biden has given us.
Thousands obviously are fleeing too, just by walking through the desert across Pakistan and into Iran. I mean, that's how bad it is. Look at how many people are doing this, making the sojourn on foot through the Afghan desert.
Yeah, and so they're thinking they're going into Pakistan, then across Iran, like you mentioned.
Okay, so Pakistan, they're walking across Afghanistan to Pakistan, into Iran, and then eventually, apparently, their destination is Turkey.
Turkey, so that they can, move their way into the EU and have freedom in Europe.
Jeez.
And I did the math. I'm sorry, I did the math on this. If this group of people is from southern Afghanistan, so they have the shorter distance to travel than people that may be coming from the further interior of Afghanistan. But if just from southern Afghanistan to get to Turkey, I did the math. It's the equivalent of walking from New York City to Salt Lake City.
Is that a long way?
New York City to Salt Lake City.
Huh. Is that far? Is that?
I mean, it depends. If you got good shoes.
So it's what, 1,800, 2,000 miles, somewhere in there?
Yeah, I closed the tab. It was over 2,000 miles. Yeah, it was.
Wow.
Something like that. It was sad. But somebody made a good point on Twitter. Why didn't we fly our Black Hawk helicopters out filled with evacuees? Hi, Captain Obvious is in the house.
Why didn't we do a lot of things?
Why didn't we fill in the blank, man?
Yeah. Why didn't we blank?
Kanye West, I'm telling you, would have been a much better president than Joe Biden.
That's just outrageous. And he still claims, we didn't make any mistakes. It went as well as you can do it. In fact, it was an extraordinary success. Oh. Okay. Jeez. 888-900-3393. More fun. More making the apocalypse fun coming up. Some tweets here. Novocaine for the soul. Wait, we can just adopt cash now? I guess I'll be adopting the vault at work today.
Oh.
That comes in pretty handy if you work at a bank.
I like that.
Yeah, I'm adopting this money. It doesn't have a home. No parent at all.
Right, and you want to do
guardian.
the right thing and raise the money correctly.
Chicken Too Tasty tweets, you not only ruined the movie, but you spoiled the Constitution for some people in America. They haven't had time to read it yet. Well, that's a good point. Yep.
That's a very good point.
A good point.
Uh-huh.
Sorry about the Constitution spoiler there for some people. I bet most people in America have not read the Constitution.
Oh, have even glanced at it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Citizen tweets, the Taliban just needs to be accepted. They're so misunderstood. If we just talk to them, diplomacy, they'll change. Bless their hearts. That's kind of the theory right now, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Blah, blah, blah.
Love the blah, blah, blah.
Tweets, trying to negotiate with the Taliban is like trying to negotiate with Tusken Raiders. Only a galactic idiot would try something like that.
Well, congratulations. We got one in the White House.
Sure do. And aren't we proud? Introvert of Roud. Psaki was right. There was a collapse of leadership. Ever since January 20th, strangely enough. We've spoken in great detail, and so has Glenn, and everybody at the Blaze has spoken in great detail about that catastrophic speech that Biden gave day before yesterday. But I really liked some things that Nick Arama said in his opinion piece on this, talking about how many times Biden has ranted at us. He just rants at us.
Yes.
He's not talking to us. He's ranting at us.
An angry old man.
About why he's right in Afghanistan. And he's done it, 4 or 5 times now so far. But Nick says, but this one was the worst yet, and you could feel it. He was just so angry. He's not angry at the Taliban, which is so true. He doesn't seem to be a bit pissed off at the Taliban or ISIS-K. He's not angry at his own failures or those of his people. He's angry at the people left behind, and he's angry at you, the American people. He's angry at you for not simply accepting what an extraordinary success this all was. I think that's so true. He goes on to talk about how it's all about him, and that the reason this guy's a sociopath is because in light of everything that's happened and the catastrophic disaster we are witnessing and living through right now, the only thing he wants to prove is how right he was.
Mm-hmm.
He can't stand the thought that anybody thinks he did anything wrong, and especially his Democrat friends. But there's no way around it. And then he keeps bringing up Bo as if this is about him and his family again and his situation, which is exactly what the Gold Star family said he kept talking about. He kept bringing up Bo, and they kept telling him, it's not about you. This time, it's not about you. Don't want to hear about Bo right now. Plus, Bo did not die in Afghanistan or Iraq. He served in Iraq, but he didn't die in either place. He died of cancer after coming back home several years later. And he keeps trying to throw this in the face of the Gold Star families as if he knows exactly what they're going through. It's really despicable. Really, really a despicable man. Plus a complete moron and brain-dead idiot, which is not a good combination at all. We also have a, from Newsbusters, a former deputy SecDef claims that a Predator drone operator was ordered to stand down against the Kabul airport bomber. This is not the bomber from a few days ago that we did fire at and kill. There were apparently 3 terrorists in that truck, but we also killed some civilians next to it, in the house next to it. So this isn't that situation. It's the actual situation where the guy blew up and killed the 13 Marines or 12 Marines and 1 Navy personnel and 157 other people. So 170 people lost their lives here. And I don't know if you've heard this situation, but on Univision, they were talking about what went on. In the midst of the coverage, as per former Army Green Beret and Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense Roger Pardo-Maurer, the Department of Defense had knowledge of the homicide bomber at the airport.
Before the explosion.
And they scrambled a Predator drone.
Okay.
Only to order it to stand down.
What?
as it locked on it was locked, had a drone lock. They were prepared to fire, and then they were told to stand down. For whatever reason, they did not fire at the suicide bomber, and this could have been completely avoided.
I wonder.
Unbelievable.
I would love to hear the explanation on this. Was it? Was he in the crowd? Were they afraid that there would be collateral damage?
That's
from
the only
strike?
thing I can think of that they were too afraid that others, some innocents might lose their lives. I don't know. But that is unbelievable.
Yeah, I want to hear the follow-up to this, because this right here could be incredible to hear play out in a testimony in Congress or something like that. But when I hear something like that, where we have somebody in our sights, I always think back to the early days of the war. I say early, I don't know. What is it, like 05, 06, somewhere in there, 7?
Mm-hmm.
And there was a Taliban-related funeral, and all these Taliban leaders were gathered there. And we had a similar situation where we could have taken out a whole group of Taliban, and someone high up said, that's not going to look good, taking out bad guys at a funeral. Okay. I don't know if you know this or not, but those guys don't play by any rules.
This is just about optics. It's not about safety.
Exactly. It's always about optics and not about safety in this country.
Then we have honorable men like this. 40 special ops operators are staying behind to hunt down the terrorists that killed 170 people. A team of SAS fighters. So these are Brits who are staying behind to try to make the terrorists pay for killing our soldiers and all the Afghans. This diehard squad is said to have 40 members who asked to stay in the country in order to fight the terrorist group Islamic State, K, Khorasan province. The Special Air Service, SAS, is a British Army Special Forces unit. They specialize in counterterrorism, hostage rescue, direct action, and covert reconnaissance, among other things. And according to sources, the SAS party is likely to establish a base along the lawless Afghan-Pakistan border in order to conduct covert operations against ISIS-K. Their base will also be used by the Royal Navy's SBS Special Forces, U.S. Army Delta Force, and Navy SEALs. So apparently we are leaving some behind, some special operations forces behind to try to deal with this situation. This is the first I'm hearing of maybe that actually happening. And so are these incredible guys who volunteered and asked to stay behind and do this job. That's just amazing to me that these didn't even have to be they didn't happen to be their own countrymen, and yet they want to stay behind and finish that job. All right, let me tell you about Rough Greens. We've been talking about this for quite a while. What is holding you back? If you want to make sure that your dog is getting the nutrition that they need, then please try Rough Greens. It's filled with vitamins and minerals and probiotics and omega oils. And I think what you're going to find is like what I found and what Glenn has found, that your dog will become more active again, actually puppy-like. You're going to be happy and healthy, and they love this stuff. You sprinkle it on top of the food, and they'll eat it like they've never eaten it before. Although there are some dogs who don't take to it immediately. So before you jump in with both feet, you can find out if your dog will like this or not, because they'll send you a free bag of Rough Greens for you to try out. Well, your dog can try it out. I don't recommend that you sprinkle it on your food.
Why not?
It's I think it's FDA kind of regulations. But all you have to pay for is shipping. So you pay for shipping, and the bag of Rough Greens is free, and then you try it out. If your dog loves it, then you get more. Just go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFF greens.com or 833-ROUGH-DOG.
Beware, Pat Gray is unleashed.
Seeing a banner right now on the news.
Oh, what? No, come on.
San Francisco will pay people to not shoot other people.
Hold on. Is this the Babylon Bee network?
That is incredible.
San Francisco will pay people to not shoot others.
Nothing's free, you idiots.
I can't. What is happening?
Unbelievable. A total meltdown. I mean, I think this is a sign that the four horsemen of the apocalypse are clippity-clopping. What
are they
downtown area?
What are they doing? Are they just riding in circles? Because I mean, they're here. Get here.
They're here.
That's where we're at.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Jeez. We heard from two fathers who were with Joe Biden at Dover Air Force Base. One of the big controversies was, not just his stupid speech, but when he greeted the incoming coffins of these 13 service members. He kept checking his watch. Now, we showed you video of one time he did it. Then we heard that he did it 5 times. These fathers have a slightly different perspective. Listen to this.
To the checking of his watch, that didn't happen just once. That happened on every single one that came out of that airplane.
Oh my God.
It happened on every single one of them.
Oh.
They would release the salute, and he looked down at his watch on every last one, all 13. He looked down at his watch.
Oh, yep, there it is again. Good.
As a father, seeing that and the disrespect and hearing from his former leaders, one of his master sergeants said exactly what you just said, that this was avoidable, that they left them over there, they had them over there and let them down. And that we can't have that. It can't happen ever again.
We also abandoned Americans. Americans now are on their own. We left them behind. Mark, you want to comment on the watch incident? Did you notice the same thing?
Yes, I did. I actually leaned into my son's mother's ear and I said, I swear to God, if he checks his watch one more time, and that was only probably 4 times in, I couldn't look at him anymore after that. Just considering especially the time and why we were there, it was I found to be the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen.
I mean, what do you say to that?
I can't imagine. My gosh.
The other thing is that I happened to notice a smaller detail, but go back to the still photo of maybe the split screen of the father and Jill and Joe together there. I mean, it's one thing after another with these people. It's absolutely crazy. Jill's got her hand. Nah, it's okay. It's lower than that most of the time, but I think she's holding. Yeah, there we go, right there. Look at that. What are you? Is your hand over your liver? I thought your hand was supposed to go over your heart.
Well, maybe she.
What is that?
She a heavy drinker?
I don't
Might
know.
be over her liver.
Just unbelievable.
Yeah, what is
start
that?
to finish?
Is she?
There's just nothing good about these people.
Nope.
Nothing. Is there a single redeeming quality that they have? I'm sure there must be something.
Remember your one compliment in 8 years of Obama? You remember what it was? At least
yeah,
that I remember.
He was a pretty good singer.
Pretty good singer. Like he sang good for like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
You're like, that's a good clip. Okay, cool. You're right. There's literally nothing about Joe Biden or Joe Biden.
I can't find it.
Or any of that group up there.
I can't find it. There was one other thing about Obama, though. He wanted a college football playoff. That was the other one good thing about him.
Okay.
He wanted a college football playoff.
And he's good at pitching.
Oh, man.
Woo!
What an athlete.
What an athlete.
Sure, he could have played in the NBA. Everybody knows that. He also could have pitched in the major leagues.
Yeah, with nothing but a steady diet of change-ups.
Nobody'd ever get a hit because the ball can't reach the plate. So you'd walk in a few runs, but at least you didn't get hit hard.
Well, you do have to get it to the plate at some point. Barack.
Barack
crazy.
Tony ass Obama.
I love that clip. It's a good one.
So much good stuff from that one. 888-933-93. Now, Chris Cuomo. Let's not get distracted from the big threat in the United States of America, as Chris Cuomo, Fredo himself, reminded us. on his fabulous show.
Just one hard thing after another. Anderson, thank you very much. I'm Chris Cuomo. Welcome to Prime Time. There are new concerns at home after the Taliban's takeover. At home. Homeland Security is picking up chatter on online platforms, but it's not what you might expect. The Taliban or other groups abroad issuing new threats. That's what you would expect, right? This chatter is coming from here. And there's another twist.
What's
this is not about Islamist extremist sleeper cells.
Okay.
It's about homegrown white supremacists and other violent extremist groups here who are looking to be more like the Taliban. The authorities say that what they're hearing are these guys celebrating the Taliban's success and saying it's a model for those who believe in the need for a civil war in the United States. And then there's this weird paradox. So on the one hand, they're celebrating the Taliban and say, we want to be like them. Then on the other hand, there's this chatter that echoes a lot of what we're hearing from some in the Freedom Caucus in Congress, that arriving Afghan refugees could be criminals. And the racist groups here take it further, saying they would degrade the control and authority of the white race. A Homeland official says this
show
is
us
all,
all that, Chris.
Troubling because it, quote, may incite violent activities directed at immigrant communities.
Who are these people?
One more reason that no comfort or
and show us what they're saying.
Can be given
I want to see this guest.
Kind of talk.
Who's saying that?
All right, I can't take any more from him. How many people are like this? I mean, can you find a couple of crazies in this nation that maybe think that way and act that way? Yeah, probably on any part of the spectrum politically. There are people who are nuts. It's just such a tiny fraction of people. And that's all they focus on. That's all they can focus on. Never mind the larger problem right now that we've got a president who's absolutely lost his mind.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Great to have you with us. 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter, where Jeffy's 18 Spoons tweets, maybe instead of a drone, perhaps they could have asked one of the now murdered Marines take out the bomber. They might not have died needlessly.
Ooh,
yeah. James Doulis, maybe Joe is checking his watch all the time because he's not because he's impatient, but because he's on a tight medical regimen to keep his disease at bay. Yeah, is it
seriously
time for my pill yet?
Or pudding?
Well, they put the pill in my pudding.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Put the pill in my pudding so that I can eat it. Squatching duck. I hear Fred's Cuomo's report on white supremacist chatter is based on one Instagram post. That would not surprise me in the least.
Yeah, Fredo had that report there. Yeah.
Yeah, not Fred. But I think you put Fred.
Do you think there is a Fred?
Sure, I
Cuomo?
read that correctly. It was yes, Fred's instead of Fredo. Okay.
No.
But
some people need to
we know what they're talking
proofread about before you hit tweet. Just saying.
Right.
Squatching duck.
So AOC's out defending Joe Biden.
Is she?
Yeah. She called the withdrawal contagious in a tweet yesterday. In case you're wondering why people on TV are going on there and relentlessly attacking Biden for his courageous decision to leave Afghanistan when no other president would, here's one glimpse as to why. War is addictive for the few who reap its profits while the rest of us foot the bill. Yeah, the problem with that, Puddin', is that nobody's saying we shouldn't have left. At least I'm not hearing anybody saying that we shouldn't leave Afghanistan, that we should stay there forever, that we love this war and it should continue endlessly. Nobody's saying that. What we're saying is he botched this so badly, we've got Americans left behind. And 170 people got murdered because everybody's outside the airport trying to get the hell out of Afghanistan when this all could have been avoided. That's what people are talking about. She's so stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, man. And she and the rest of her little squad want the Federal Reserve now. Okay, the Federal Reserve, what is their one job? Try to help the economy, supposedly. That's supposedly the job,
I was wondering what we were going to go with there.
Yeah. What she wants them to do is to focus on climate change and racial and economic justice. Oh, yeah, that sounds like a really good job for the Federal Reserve. Will it ever get to a point where people just say, I mean, even people on the left, maybe not the far extreme left, but just left of center are going to say, come on, okay, stop it. Stop the madness. Will that happen? Jeez, I hope so. Oh,
gut check. Stop.
That's what they need to say to her. She also had a message for Senator Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema.
There are certain conservative Democrats like Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema who do not support H.R. 1. I personally believe that a lot of this has to do with dark money and the checks on eliminating and really curtailing the power of lobbyists and dark money. But that's an aside. Nevertheless, there is resistance to passing H.R. 1 among Democrats in the Senate. What they have said
we're not listening to you.
Yeah, we don't
we
care
will
anymore.
not pass H.R. 1. I have resistance to H.R. 1.
Okay,
but we
good.
are open to H.R. 4.
Oh, okay.
HR 4.
And we're also open to HR Puffin stuff.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. That was a really good show. I'm open to that starting up again. HR Puffin stuff.
Kind of creepy, though.
A little bit, but
big
kind
head
of scared me. But
bouncing around.
It's time to come back, I think. And really, we only played that clip so we could play this one.
I personally believe.
Seriously. I don't know if you can cue that up about 15 seconds in or so.
I personally believe.
Who sent that to me? They pointed that out. That's good.
Her ramblings are very similar to this.
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have that. And I believe that our education, such as in South Africa and Iraq,
everywhere like such as.
I believe that they should. Our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S. Should help South Africa.
The South Africa.
And should help the Iraq and the Asian countries. So we will be able to build up our future.
Yeah, you want to build up your future?
Yeah, you do.
Right?
Well, for the children, right?
And, speaking of your children and maps, you want to teach your kids how to read a paper map. It'll be easier for them to escape from the government camps later. So get on that with your homeschooling lessons.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah. So she is the Miss Teen. Miss Teen South Carolina is actually much brighter than AOC.
Oh, yeah, no question about it. There's no doubt about it. But we had no shortage of dumb points being made yesterday. CNN's Kate Baldwin also making this point about the hypocrisy of the Texas abortion law.
Breaking news. The right to an abortion effectively eliminated in the state of Texas today.
Oh, no.
The most restrictive abortion ban in the nation went into effect this morning in the state after the U.S. Supreme Court declined to step in overnight. The Texas law bans abortions after the 6th week of pregnancy with no exception for rape or incest. So make no mistake, the real-life application and intention of this law is to ban abortions altogether.
Yes, thank you.
It allows private citizens to sue anyone who performs the procedures or even helps a woman get an abortion. We're going to get to the details of all of this in just a second.
Pause it for just a second then, before she gets to the details of it. So, in other words, there really is no criminal penalty in this law. So you can have an abortion at 21 weeks or whatever. You just could be sued, and you probably will be sued. So that acts as a deterrent, hopefully, to abortionists, because you could be sued for killing a baby. That's getting off light, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, that's incredibly light. All right, she also had this to say.
Oh, no, really?
First, let's just be real. Very same people in the very same state who say, don't you dare tell me to wear a mask. The same people who say that government overreach because it violates individual freedoms. Those very same people clearly are saying now, never mind when it comes to my body and the medical decisions that I make with the advice of my doctor.
Okay, she's pointing out, we believe both things. I should be able to not wear a mask if I want. And I also don't want babies murdered. Does that seem hypocritical to you, Kate?
You sound like a radical, Pat.
I know, but she's ignoring her obvious hypocrisy because she's a my body, my choice person, except when it comes to masks.
Or how about vaccines? Injecting something into my body.
Yeah.
The same people, what's her name again? I don't even know.
Kate
Baldwin. Hey, Kate, the same people who say my body, my choice are telling me I don't have a choice if I want to participate in the society. I better inject this unproven chemical that is obviously not even working if I want to be a member in good standing of the society. Screw you.
Yeah, never mind that hypocrisy, my body, my choice, when you're murdering the separate body that's inside the womb. But that doesn't apply at all to wearing a mask. Also, I might get, or you might get, a virus that has a 99% survivability on average. You got a 1% chance of dying. When you're performing an abortion, it's the other way around. About 99% of the abortions are going to kill the child.
Yeah, and the ones that survive are going to be mangled by the procedure, most likely.
A lot of times, yes.
We are not speaking the same language.
No, when you can't even agree on human life. And it's interesting because the Kennedy family has been speaking out a lot because Sojourn was just released this week on parole.
Well, he's got to go through.
Well, yes, he's going to be released on parole.
We'll see, yeah.
It looks like. And 2 of the Kennedy clan supported that decision. But then I just saw a piece from the youngest of the Kennedys. She was in her mother's womb, actually, when her dad was killed. So she was born 6 months after he was assassinated, and she's against him being released. But she made the point about how much Kennedys care about life, and she understands it from that aspect. As she pointed out that Ted Kennedy, after his brother's murder and the trial of the man who murdered him, sent a letter to the authorities saying, please grant him life in prison because my brother wouldn't want this man killed. He wouldn't want to be responsible for the death of any human being. Now, that same person in that same clan believes you can kill as many babies in the womb as you please.
And can leave as many young women to die in the water under a bridge as well.
Of course, there's that. Yeah, there's that. I'm not sure if he wrote the letter before or after.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He killed Mary Jo Kopechne.
Pat?
Yeah, I know.
Killed?
Yes, I mean killed before he killed her. So the hypocrisy, believe me, there's plenty of hypocrisy to go around. It's so mind-boggling that they if they don't see it, they just ignore it. They must see it, right? They must see the hypocrisy in themselves and just pretend like nobody's going to notice that. It's difficult.
That's a good word. It's difficult.
It's difficult not to scream obscenities right now.
Well, that's why there's Twitter, Pat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it set me off yesterday with Joe Rogan. He gets COVID. He announces
they want him dead now.
Yeah, he announces that he's taking all of these different drugs.
Ivermectin.
And one of them is ivermectin. And, of course, the left goes nuts. And they're like, oh, my gosh, well, first of all, I hope you die. Yeah. And stop leading people astray by saying you should take a drug. You're killing the people. By the way, you should die. Wait. So Joe Rogan's life matters not to them, but all these faceless people that they've never encountered.
Rogan's really getting a taste of what these people are all about because I think he's been kind of in the middle. Maybe he leaned.
He's much more libertarian than I think you realize.
But I think I think he's becoming more so now because he sees the hysteria and just the psychotic nature of the left.
Yeah, these people are obsessed. They are self-righteous cretins is what they are.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating, the hypocrisy that spills out of their keyboards.
Fascinating. So Rogan made the announcement, hello, friends. So I got back from the road Saturday night feeling very weary. I had a headache, and I just felt run down. And just to be cautious, I separated from my family, slept in a different part of the house. And throughout the night, I got fevers and sweats, and I knew something was going on. So I got up in the morning, got tested, and it turns out I got COVID. So we immediately threw the kitchen sink at it all. Cool. All kinds of meds, monoclonal antibodies. And I've heard that, I mean, even Fauci is saying that's a good idea. So the monoclonal...
that must be dangerous.
I know.
Careful, Joe.
So the antibodies, the ivermectin, Z-Pak, prednisone, everything. And I did that for 3 days in a row. And so here we are Wednesday. And I feel great. I really only had one bad day. Sunday sucked. Monday was better. Tuesday felt better than Monday. And today I feel good. I actually feel pretty freaking good. Mm-hmm. Well, that set off the left.
Yep.
Like you can't
sure
believe.
Did. My gosh.
Because they took something that they don't like. Why is it so important to you that nobody even tries something that's out of the mainstream?
It's fascinating how the left wants the rest of us to suffer just because they are. And it's with everything across the board.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, no. If we're going to suffer because we don't have somebody that can prescribe ivermectin to us, then you're going to suffer too. And if you did a search in quotes yesterday on Twitter, hope Joe Rogan dies, in quote, oh my gosh, scroll. These people are sick.
My gosh.
They want to micromanage everyone. And I don't care if Joe Rogan gets under a saddle and neighs for 8 hours to camp down races. I mean, who cares? That's his choice. Let him do what he wants to do.
He used a horse dewormer. So what if it's effective on COVID-19? And it has been for many people. I mean, it just has been. I don't know if it works for everybody. I know very little about ivermectin, except the few stories that I've read about it with people just trying it because why not? If nothing else is working, why not try to save your life with ivermectin?
Yeah, do a Google search, do a DuckDuckGo research on ivermectin in India and see how they quickly got that under control there. Oh, why?
In their most populous state.
Why is there a media blackout on that information of something possibly working?
Yeah. Because they freely recommend it for patients who have COVID in India, and their death rate fell precipitously. I mean, it absolutely, in fact, worked. Just that easy. It worked. 888-900-3393. Let me tell you about Omega XL. If you're in some pain, here's a way out of that pain. Something that could just change your life and just turn things around for you, because there's nothing worse than being in continual pain. Now, Omega XL works because it has what's essentially an off switch to inflammation. So once that inflammation is calmed down, the pain goes away. You know, you've probably tried pain relievers and topical rubs. I have never met the topical rub that helps for 1 single second. Not 1 second. And the NSAIDs, the non-steroidal over-the-counter anti-inflammatories, those do very little as well. So give it a try. It may just change your life and turn things around for you. To get you started, when you go to omegaxl.com/Pat and you order your first bottle, they're going to throw in a second one for free. omegaxl.com/Pat. You buy one, you get one free. 800-844-4888.
What number do people call to get on the air? Do we have that number?
Why, yes, there is a phone number you can call. 888-900-3393.
All
it's
right.
Pat Gray Unleashed on
is.
The Blaze.
That's interesting.
Got this tweet from Axis Tech. With lessening support for H.R. 1, now AOC warns of a new H.R. 4 variant.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
BJM tweets, is it possible that Biden keeps looking at his watch to see how much time is left in his presidency before the 25th Amendment is implemented?
Mm-hmm.
Todd Curtis tweets, what it boils down to is this. There are professional medical opinions in both directions concerning the vax and masks. What is happening is that the government is trying to force us to accept one opinion. That's right. That's as far from a free people as we can get.
Yeah, I don't trust the government, so made my decision.
Okay. That's kind of a surprise to me. That
Really?
comes as a shocking surprise.
You thought that I just blindly trusted this government?
Yeah, I mean,
no matter what?
given no indication.
No indication whatsoever?
That there were any unusual things happening with the government.
You and I should talk more often.
Yeah,
then,
I guess so. Hillary's coming up in just a few minutes, by the way. Some content you won't get anywhere else.
Well, maybe the 4-minute buzz.
Well, the 4-minute buzz.
I mean,
is
there's
possible,
that.
yes.
So.
Dan Rather has sounded off.
Oh, no, what?
He says it's worth noting that many of the same people attacking the Biden administration for leaving women's rights behind in Afghanistan are eager to control women's bodies and choices in the United States.
This is good.
Is it, Dan? Is it worth noting that?
He's still around, huh?
Yeah. Why don't you try to scrounge up some fake documents about the president and report them on your show? Why don't you do that and leave us alone with your it's worth noting notes?
He'll be 90 next month.
I was going to say, he's got to be pushing 90. And indeed he is. Mike Richards, fortunately, out as, okay, we already knew that he was forced out as Jeopardy host. Now he's been forced out as Jeopardy executive producer.
I still don't know what this guy did.
Oh, he did horrific things back in 2014, Keith. He said the word boobies. Yeah, in 2014. So in this century, this guy should not be allowed to eat. Not only should he be fired from hosting and executive producing, he shouldn't be allowed to eat. In fact, he should be stripped naked and made to wander through the desert until all of his skin is burned off his body. That'll teach him for saying boobies back in 2014. Guy doesn't deserve to live. I don't know. What else are they going to do to this guy? Jeez. It's really something. It's really something to behold.
I've read so many stories about this, and I still have no idea what the man said.
Well, in addition to saying boobies or whatever, he had a nickname for the girl who was his co-host or sidekick or something.
Okay.
And it wasn't flattering. It was, I think he called her the booth slut. So,
did she mind? Did she like it?
It didn't seem like it. No. In fact, I think I heard a clip or I read, I can't remember if there was a clip along with it, but there was definitely a transcript of what they said back and forth. And it was just banter back and forth like a radio morning show. And that kind of stuff happened all the time back then. We weren't quite as sensitive, you might remember. I mean, how old were you in 2014? Jeez.
Oh my gosh, here we go. I
wasn't even born yet.
So she said his co-host or whatever producer said, she said she took photos of herself when she, quote, felt cute.
She took photos of herself.
Okay, he said, like booby pictures?
Oh, no!
Right? What are we looking at? He also asked to go through her phone, and when she declined, he asked if it was because they were of her boobies. Whoa!
Oh, no. Oh, boy.
Oh, no.
Okay, now we know why this guy's got to wander naked through the desert. And have his skin burned off by the sun.
Oh, listen to this, though. He's also, in addition to referring to her as a booth slut, he referred to her as a booth hoe as well.
Oh, no.
So,
no, honey. So did she get pissed, or was it part of the thing and it was just fun banter? How dare you say that it could even be fun banter?
Now, he said that one-piece swimsuits are genuinely unattractive. They're not good. They're not becoming. They're not flattering. Let's see. Adds that the suits make her friends look really frumpy and overweight. So he said that? Yeah, he said that. Okay.
Uh-oh. And what'd she say in return?
Let's see. It doesn't say. Oh, but here we go. Richards further doubles down on his disparaging comments.
Oh, no.
And the exchange between him and Beth ends with him remarking that if one of her friends ever came up to him in a piece of unflattering clothing, he would, quote, give her a smack. Okay, that's weird. But don't walk up on me with your unflattering clothing. Take this. I mean, that's dumb.
Yeah, it's dumb. I mean, okay, it's not cool, but that was part of, entertainment banter at the time. It was not the same world. It was a completely different, it was ancient times.
Last week wasn't the same world.
Yep.
Oh.
All right, we got Hilary Kennedy coming up with an update next.
Pat Gray.
Happy to be joined now by 4-Minute Buzz's Hilary Kennedy. Hey, Hilary.
Hey, thanks for having me back.
Thanks for coming back on. You've got an update for us on the OnlyFans situation?
I do. So for people who missed it the last time, OnlyFans, it's a social media subscription site. Overwhelming number of creators on the site are sex workers. OnlyFans, it's one of the 200 most visited sites in America. It has 130 million users, and it's a fairly new site. Anyway, there are some groups like the National Center on Sexual Exploitation and the conservative Christian group Exodus Cry. So they've been attempting to put pressure on banks to not do business with OnlyFans because there was this really crazy expose that the BBC did on OnlyFans alleging that OnlyFans doesn't immediately shut down accounts with illegal activity on them.
What kind of illegal activity?
Yeah, what are we talking about?
Well,
underage,
under 18. From selling and appearing in explicit videos, despite it being illegal for children to do that.
That's not good.
Nope.
There are instances of people selling prostitution services, bestiality, material one moderator believed to be incest.
Oh, come on.
There was an instance where a man would go and pay homeless people on the street to have sex with him on camera. Some of the creators are offering competitions to meet and have sex with a fan as a way to increase their tip payments. Okay. So these are all things that moderators were saying. We're seeing these things, we're flagging them, but OnlyFans isn't taking these accounts down right away. So the higher earning accounts, they said maybe they'd give them a slap on the wrist, maybe tell them 2 or 3 times, hey, you can't post this sort of stuff.
The higher, the ones that are making them money?
Right.
Right.
I'll give you 8 months to stop doing that.
8 months, huh? And then you come back in 8 months, and then what?
Yeah, well, are you making money still?
Yes.
Well,
a lot for
and I'll give you another 8 months to stop doing that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty much
it was
what
that kind of thing, right?
Well, yeah, and there's a special agent from U.S. Homeland Security, Austin Barrier. He specializes in investigating this child exploitation online, and he said he finds between 20 and 30 child abuse images a week that he said clearly originated on OnlyFans. And
those
OnlyFans
should
just isn't doing much about it.
Okay, the illegal stuff like that. You should be policing that.
Yes.
But some of this stuff is just capitalism.
Or you should even be shut down over that.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Thrown in
so
jail.
then they decided, okay, we're not going to do any more porn, right?
Right.
And they supposedly got rid of that.
Okay.
And then they started losing money, so they're like, wait, whoa.
We were kidding, just kidding.
Let's rethink this. And so they're back to doing porn again.
They are. So all of their sex worker creators were rightfully upset because that was taking away their income. And so OnlyFans said, okay, just kidding. We're going to allow you guys to continue to post your sexually explicit content. The problem with that was so many of those creators lost thousands and thousands of fans, which opened the door for all the OnlyFans competitors to swoop in and try and steal these people. One of those competitors, I thought this was very interesting, Jerry Seinfeld's second cousin, Evan Seinfeld.
Jerry Seinfeld's
What's the
second
deal
cousin?
with OnlyFans?
Okay.
He has a competing site. He said he's expecting thousands of porn stars and sex workers who are leaving OnlyFans to join his site. Here's why this is a big deal, though. OnlyFans reported that users spent $2.3 billion in 2020 alone.
That's incredible.
On their platform. 85% of those payments were for sexually explicit content.
Wow.
So OnlyFans was raking in about $390 million a year, which is why.
What other kind of content is there? Do they?
Yeah. What's that other 15%?
Yeah.
You know?
What do they do? YouTube type stuff or?
Kind of, yeah. They're like, I think Cardi B is on there. There's a couple of...
No, he said other than sex type. I think you misheard him.
That's a good point.
Oh, gosh.
There are some chefs, there are some fitness coaches, there's some life coaches, there's things like that. And that's really the direction OnlyFans was trying to go in when they said we want to get rid of all of this sexually explicit content and focus more on creators that are doing, I wouldn't say more family friendly, but things that are not quite as dark.
Yeah.
And they were having trouble, I think, getting investors and getting the banks to work with them.
So OnlyFans took the sexual explicit stuff to the dance.
Yes.
Then said, get out of here. And then now they're saying, come back. Because the bottom line with everything is money.
Yes. I think it did end up hurting their bottom line a little bit because so many of these creators said, well, we don't know if you're going to do this again, so we're going to leave.
Yeah.
So some of them are starting their own sites, and then again, some of them are going to places like Evan Seinfeld's new site.
And apparently, from what I've read, a lot of them make a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Like
yes.
millions in some cases.
Definitely.
Yeah.
In fact, one of our producers here has a friend that has an OnlyFans. And he said, she told him, well, I'm just doing some feet photos for a while first and making some money.
Feet photos.
But he said the money was so good. She's kept on and kept on.
And then did she work herself up to ankle and calf and stuff?
In order to keep those subscribers, that's what people have to do is keep showing more, keep offering more because the money's so addicting.
Well, yeah, I heard Rachel Dolezal is one of the people that's doing this.
The white chick that wanted to be black?
The white chick that pretended to be
she
black.
She wore blackface.
And she was I think she was the head of the NAACP in Spokane in Washington, right? She's doing feet photos for OnlyFans, from what I heard.
It starts with the feet, but it never ends with the feet. So
it's just...
But I think it's important that we know that this is out there and that there are all of these other sites that are being created so you can monitor what your kids are looking at, what they're doing. If I just think it's important that we know what's out there because it doesn't seem like it's going away anytime soon.
Yeah, that's for sure. Something else that doesn't seem to be going away is Jake Paul with his boxing matches. He has a new challenge for somebody.
He does. So Jake Paul, he recently, last Sunday night, he defeated Tyron Woodley, who is a great UFC fighter, a really good striker.
Yeah, wasn't he champion at one point?
He was, and he lost to Jake Paul in a split decision. So it was, he just didn't get as many strikes in there as Jake did. But he's asking for a rematch, and Jake Paul said, no, I'm not interested in you. And for the longest time, he was interested in Conor McGregor. And he said, I'm not even interested in Conor anymore because he's like, I'm 4-0. Conor is 1-3 in the past 4 years.
And he's nursing that injury, too.
Yeah, so he said, I'm not even interested in Conor anymore. You know who I want? I want Tim Tebow.
Wait, leave Tim
I want
Tebow
somebody who has nothing to do with boxing or MMA.
Leave that man alone.
Good idea.
Yeah,
good idea.
He's tweeted at Tim Tebow. He said, it's time for you to get into boxing. Tim, as of last night, had not responded. But Jake Paul, he did say after he defeated Tyrone last weekend, he said, I'm going to retire because he got paid $2 million to fight Tyron Woodley. They each got $2 million. But before that, when he fought Ben Askren, also a former UFC fighter, he got paid $690,000. So he's making great money doing it.
Yeah.
So he's 24 years old. He could retire, but now he's calling out Tim Tebow. So we'll see.
Yeah, Tim Tebow hasn't tweeted in a couple days, so he hasn't responded to that.
Now, Tim Tebow, I can't imagine him doing this. I mean, maybe, but he's not a fighter.
No, I can't see him doing it. But stranger things have happened. The payday is pretty big. Jake Paul said he would love to fight Mayweather, which I think is a horrible mistake. Because to your point, he has been fighting people that either aren't trained professional boxers or people that have been out of commission for a while.
Right.
So I want to see him fight a real boxer. And not that he isn't good. I'll give him credit. He's a decent fighter.
He surprised me, actually. But yeah, he's not fighting actual professional boxers.
Exactly.
That would be a different situation.
Bring your stories together here.
All right.
OnlyFans should jump in and say, hey, look at this content we have. It's the Jake Paul Tim Tebow fight.
Yeah.
And
have him do it naked?
No, Jeffy.
None of us needed that visual.
No, rebrand it and say, look, see, we stream other stuff besides, feet. No. So anyway, that's just a thought for OnlyFans.
It's a good thought.
Take it and run with it.
Good thought. Thanks, Keith. All right. Well, Hilary, thanks for coming in. We'll be looking for you in a few minutes on the 4-minute buzz.
Thanks so much.
Appreciate it. Yeah. All right, 888-900-3393. Also at Pat Unleashed on Twitter. We actually have some good news to share with you today. You remember the Antifa teacher that she... yes. Yeah. The Antifa teacher was had a flag that he was really proud of in his classroom.
180 days to make these kids radicals, and every political ideology in my classroom shifts leftward over the course of the semester.
He's set to be fired. Yeah. After sharing that he's radicalizing the children that are in his classroom.
Good.
About to be fired.
See ya.
Excellent.
Go to OnlyFans.
Excellent.
Show them your feet. Make some money there, dude.
Show them your feet. That's a really good idea. Although I don't really want to see this guy's feet.
I don't like feet at all. Period.
No. So is this the same as the? No, there's also the California teacher who removed the U.S. flag.
Remember that?
Told students she couldn't find it. Right. I can't find it. Wink, wink. But I do have a rainbow flag in the classroom, and people can pledge allegiance to that.
There you go. Yeah. See, I think the mistake that these teachers make.
She's on administrative leave now.
Right. Is both of them are just bragging. And get found out that way.
Right.
The one guy at the Whole Foods, which I thought was ironic in of itself. That's funny. If you're agreeing to meet a radical, tell him, hey, meet me at the Whole Foods. So he's bragging to that one guy who's undercover with Project Veritas, and this chick's making a video on Instagram or whatever. If they just keep their mouths shut and let the indoctrination happen in their classrooms, and nobody ever finds out about them, and your kids continue to be brainwashed.
Right. Right.
So thanks for babbling, people.
Yeah. And by the way, there are more teachers who have said that they're going to violate the law to teach critical race theory than you can believe. I mean, you should look at this list. There is a list now. Daily Wire published it with the names and towns of about 4,200 teachers who have vowed to violate laws prohibiting CRT in the classroom.
That's just the ones we know of.
Right. These are just the ones bragging about it who have said, yeah, I'm going to violate. I think they signed a petition, and so that's how they've been found out.
I gotcha. Okay.
It was founded on the dispossession of Native Americans. Of course, the country was. This is what they teach. Slavery, structural racism, and oppression. And structural racism is a defining characteristic of our society today. We, the undersigned educators, refuse to lie to young people about U.S. history and current events, regardless of the law. The pledge was drafted by the Zinn Education Project, which tells you everything you need to know. This is Howard Zinn's work, who was a Marxist, who was a communist. He taught a class in Marxism at Communist Party headquarters in Brooklyn. I mean, Howard Zinn was a nightmare. Parents found the list useful to know what teachers to avoid in their school districts, though.
Yeah. Daily Wire compiled the list, and we have that posted.
It's extensive.
At Pat Unleashed. So if you go to Twitter and you scroll down a few posts, you'll find this Daily Wire post, and yeah, it just goes on and on and on.
It's in all 50 states, right?
Yes, and there's tons. And so you can just look and see if your kid's teacher shows up on the list. Like I looked, I saw Fort Worth was in there. I mean, everybody's on this list. Your town probably has at least one teacher that's gonna try to ruin your children forever.
I looked for it in Texas, and they've got teachers who have vowed to do this in all the surrounding towns, everywhere. So it's all over the place. Don't think you're exempt if you live in a conservative state like Texas or Utah or Indiana or Wyoming, because there are teachers in those states who have vowed to go ahead and do it anyway.
Here's what
they
you
don't
do.
Care.
Here's what you do. You go to Pat Unleashed on Twitter. You find this list. You see if your kid's teacher's on it. If bingo, they are. I'm sure there's going to be an open house, a PTA meeting, some sort of open house, some first of the year type thing starting right now. You show up and you say, hey, let's talk about you signing that critical race theory thing. You going to teach my kid that? Really? It might be a fun, awkward conversation for you.
Might be fun.
And then next thing you know, you're taking your kid out and you're homeschooling them. Okay?
Yeah. Well, and you're joining 5 million others in America who have done the same thing for various reasons. But one of those is certainly because they can't trust what the kids are being taught in public schools.
And look, if enough parents do this, and these teachers, find out that, oh my gosh, look, there's repercussions for my actions. I can't get away with this. And, next thing you know, maybe we have better teachers in schools that aren't teaching critical race theory.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're unemployed, you can tell them, hey, go to OnlyFans, show them your feet. There's always a way out.
Yep.
Okay.
And there's a good one for you.
Mm-hmm.
Showing your feet on OnlyFans.
There's a little simultaneous sniffing going on there.
Duke now has some new restrictions to mitigate the spread of COVID. Apparently, they've got a pretty serious outbreak at, you know what? It's these damn people who won't get vaccinated.
Right?
God, all you unvaccinated people are spreading your germs all over the place.
They're ruining it for the rest of us.
And ruining it for everybody else.
Yep, sure are.
Listen to this. Just in the first week of class at Duke.
Okay.
304 undergraduates, 45 graduate students. So now we're up to 349, and 15 employees tested positive for COVID-19.
So I can't do math. What is that?
Okay, so that's a lot.
364?
Yes, it's 364 people at Duke.
Wait, but then hold on. How many graduates? Wait. We're at 364. I'll go with you. I don't have the
just
story.
Combined, doesn't really matter their graduate status.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Combined, it's 364 people.
Yes, sir, okay.
In a week!
Yeah, and they're all unvaccinated.
All but 8 of these individuals were vaccinated. So that's 356 of them were vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
I can't. Okay, I'm sorry. What is the vaccine for again? I'm just kind of curious. What do we... Well, it prevents serious illness and death. Does it, though, every time? No, it doesn't. But if you get that third shot...
Okay.
Or
now you're in the clear?
Fourth one after the third...
What you just said...
Or after you've done 4, then you get the 5th. Then maybe you'll have some protection then.
Okay, and I still have to wear a mask, too?
Yes. Oh, of course you have to wear a mask.
Bum deal.
Do you want to kill other people? Is that what you're trying to do?
I'm not going to answer that without my lawyer present, first of all.
Why are you trying to kill my grandmother? Why? Why, Keith?
Gosh,
I don't even understand it. You've never even met her.
I have a follow-up that I'm not going to use.
I haven't even met one of them because she's been dead for so long.
You got close to my response there. 98% of these infections at Duke are vaccinated individuals.
Vaccinated.
But I thought this was going to fix everything.
Yeah, it changes the narrative just ever so slightly, doesn't it?
Why honestly?
Strange.
At this point, with all this new data, why would you get the vaccine? I don't understand. I mean, you can if you want to, but I don't see the empirical evidence.
Well, they do say that it prevents death most of the time. Although, sometimes it doesn't even do that.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. We had the story in Israel where people that had 3 shots are dying now from COVID.
Gosh, darn it.
I get it if you want. I have not been convinced that it does any good whatsoever.
Well, we had the guy who died last week, and his family said, because he was vaccinated, imagine how much worse it would have been, though, if he hadn't been vaccinated. Right. Wait, it would have been worse than dying?
Right, he would have died screaming if not for the vaccine. Instead, he just went quietly.
How do you know that? You don't know that it helped at all.
What a world, man. And on top of that, you've got mandate after mandate after mandate and pushback happening in all parts of society now. Good.
Plus, 2 of MLB Network's biggest names are apparently no longer welcome at Major League Baseball Network's studios. Hall of Fame pitcher John Smoltz, who you're pretty familiar with.
Love Smoltzy, yep.
Since he was an Atlanta Brave. Did he play for anybody else, or was it just the Braves?
Yeah, he...
late in his career, did he go somewhere else?
Yeah, he went to the Red Sox. I was glad.
Was it?
Where did Smoltzy go? I think the Mets or something.
Yeah, he went somewhere, and he was a closer, right?
Well, he came back to the Braves, and he was a closer. Maybe he never left. I can't remember. I just know that I texted my sister-in-law the other night. I was like, hey, what day did you and Tom get married? And she told me, and I said, all right, I'm going to look this up. I think Smoltz had the save in that night. I don't know why I remember this stuff. Yeah, he never went anywhere. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway,
he and two-time All-Star Al Leiter will no longer appear in studio at MLB Network due to their refusal to take the COVID-19 vaccine. According to Andrew Marchand of the New York Post, MLB Network reportedly made it mandatory for all its employees to be vaccinated, with the policy going into effect yesterday, September 1st. Both pitchers will reportedly now work remotely on their shows with the network.
Good.
Smoltz is also set to call MLB Network's ALDS games.
It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, you know?
It is.
Because, look, do you enjoy having these employees, or do you enjoy having your...
Are they good enough to keep?
Yeah,
and
your mandates.
You do the special things for them, like let them broadcast from home, or will this just wind up where one of the parties is going to get sick of it and say, nah, forget it? Yeah. We'll see.
By the way, the point I was making on the Smoltz thing is that I was correct. My memory was correct about the game, but yet to demonstrate for you how my brain works, I couldn't remember if he had played anywhere else. I'm kind of a, I don't know.
Selective memory person?
Yeah. Idiot savant, something like that.
Well, you got half of it right.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
You're an idiot.
Wait. See
what I did there?
As smart as I thought you were.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Okay. From Dog44. This is my wife's religious exemption.
Yeah, Washington State.
She has to fill out for not taking the vaccine. It doesn't get approved by the district. If it doesn't get approved by the district, she's going to lose her job on October 18th. Washington State has mandated this.
Yeah, I mean,
this can't be legal.
Yeah, these questions. I mean,
wow.
Describe the religious belief, practice, or observance that is the basis for your request for religious accommodation.
It's against my religion. There, I just described it.
Well, Pat, does your religious belief, practice, or observance lead you to object to all medical treatment, all vaccinations, only the COVID-19 vaccination?
Yes.
Briefly explain, Pat, how your sincerely held religious belief, practice, or observance, good grief, Keith, conflicts with the COVID-19 vaccination requirement.
Wow.
Briefly describe the accommodation you are requesting. If the request for accommodation is temporary, please identify the anticipated date the accommodation is no longer needed. I mean,
that's amazing.
Yeah, I'm going to stop being religious as of, let's go with November 1st. I mean, what world are we living in?
A non-free world. It's not a free one. I mean, you look what's happening here. It's bad enough here. And then you look around and you see what's going on in Australia, and New Zealand, and Canada, and all around us. And you just think, well, is that our future?
Yeah, well, truckers apparently are pushing back now in Canada, Australia, Brazil. There's video out there of truckers just coming to a stop on the highways because they're not going to conform to these mandates. Jeez. And we had there's a nurse that has said, hey, you know why there's a shortage of beds? It's not that there's overcrowding from COVID patients. It's because so many nurses are refusing to this vaccine mandate, and so they don't have enough nurses to take care of patients that would otherwise come in there. So that's why the beds are there. They're just empty because the nurses aren't there.
The only thing left for you to do is go to Kexi.com and buy some cookies and just forget all your troubles.
Yeah.
Okay. All of our brand new flavors that I mentioned yesterday went on sale yesterday. So they're available today.
I love it.
Yeah, go to Kexi.com and try them out. They're really good.
Yeah.
And then you'll just think, man, I don't care what happens now.
You could sit around, delicious. Like if you don't want to go to your job because of the vaccine mandate, you sit around, order Kexi cookies, just sit around and eat them.
Just eat.
Like in Chicago, they don't have enough bus drivers, Pat.
Yeah, because they quit over the vaccine mandate.
Love it.
So they're looking to Uber and Lyft drivers for help.
So these bus drivers can stay home and eat Kexi cookies all day.
Maybe this would help. Don't force people to get the vaccine.
Yeah. You can also make money on OnlyFans if you lose your job over this, showing your feet. Ooh, bus driver feet.
Pat Gray, only on the Blaze Radio Network.